Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Learn. So if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and click the bell icon to get the latest notification. So today we are going to start with SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India. So let's see what are we going to discuss in this video. We are going to discuss about SEBI, its functions, objectives, power and the reasons to form SEBI and also the steps taken by SEBI to protect the investors. Okay, so let's start the video. First one is Security Exchange Board of India, SEBI. SEBI was established on April 12, 1988 as an administrative order. But later, SEBI became a statutory and very powerful body in 1992 when controller of capital issues were abolished. So, SEBI is headquartered in Mumbai and it has three regional offices, one in New Delhi, then in Calcutta and in Chennai. Okay. So, as you all know, the current chairman of SEBI is Mr. Ajay Tyagi IAS. Okay. So, these are the important features of SEBI. Now, let's see what are the reasons to form SEBI. Okay. So, the first reason to form SEBI was manipulation of security prices. That is, the prices of securities were manipulated by buying or increasing its prices. So, such manipulations were occurring in the market. So, first reason to form SEBI was to control this manipulation of securities prices. The second one was price rigging. Price rigging is when a group of people buy and sell the shares continuously by themselves to push up the prices of shares, and by doing this they tend to increase the prices of shares. Okay, so such price rigging was also going on. So SEBI was formed to control this price rigging. The third reason we can say is and the most important reason is insider trading. Insider trading is when a person gets the price sensitive issues or internal information or the financial information of a company, and they use that sensitive price information in the stock market to increase or decrease a price, that is known as insider trading. So insider trading was increasing day by day. And the next reason was delay. Okay, that is the delay in settlement of disputes, the delay in issuing the shares, issuing the securities. Okay, there was a long delay. So that was also another reason. Then the reason we can say is lack of fair dealings. That is, SEBI was formed so that the stock exchange will work more efficiently and more transparently. Okay, so that is whatever is happening, the information about the investment, about the company, about the security should be provided to the investors. There should be transparency. So for that and to bring about the fair dealings in the stock market, SEBI was formed. Next and the important one is protection of investors' interest. Okay, so as this manipulations of security prices and price rigging and insider trading were going on, whatever the investors are investing, they are not getting a fair return for them. Okay, so to protect the interest of the investors also, it was very much essential for the formation of SEBI. Okay, next we can say it is lack of control over the brokers. The brokers are the main intermediary between the company and the investor, and they can play as they wish. And if the brokers are getting the price sensitive or information and they started doing insider trading, it will lead to loss of either company or the investors. Okay, so to control these brokers also there need to be an organization. So for all these reasons, SEBI was the only solution. Okay, so major 7 reasons led to the formation of SEBI, and they are manipulation of security prices, price rigging, then investor trading, insider trading, delay, then lack of fair dealings, then protection of investors, and lack of control over the brokers. Okay, so these are the reasons to form SEBI. Now let's see the objectives of SEBI. Okay, so as we can say that the reasons are also the main objectives of SEBI. Okay, so the first objective is to protect the interest of investors. So whatever the investors are investing in the market, they should be getting a fair rate of return. Okay, so they should not be manipulated. So first one is to protect the interest of investors. Second objective is to ensure fair trade in the stock market. And the third one is prevention of malpractice. Fourth, we can say to give promotion of efficient brokers, merchant bankers, and other intermediaries. That is, once these brokers or sub brokers or merchant bankers are performing very well and helping to keep up the interest of the investors and helping the stock market to grow, they should be given a promotion or given a so for that also SEBI is formed. Okay, so these are the main objectives of SEBI. That is to protect the interest of investors, to ensure fair trade practices, and to prevent malpractice, and also recognize efficient brokers, merchant bankers, and other intermediaries. Okay. So now let's discuss the functions of SEBI. Okay, so the first function of SEBI is to protect the interest of investors. Okay, it is the main reason for the formation of SEBI. It is the main objective of SEBI, and it is also the main function of SEBI. That is to protect the interest of investors. Okay, so the second function is to regulate the business in stock exchanges and other securities market. It is the main function of SEBI. Third, we can say that SEBI is in function with registering and regulating the work of stockbrokers, sub-brokers, underwriters, etc. That is, every stockbroker or sub-broker should be registered under the SEBI guidelines, and SEBI will be regulating and controlling their activities and regulating them. Okay, and SEBI is also responsible for regulating the intermediaries such as depositors, participated foreign financial institutions, foreign institutional investment, credit rating agencies, etc. That is, the SEBI is also uh, entitled to regulate and register all these intermediaries. Then we can see another function of SEBI is promoting and regulating self-regulatory organizations. Okay. And other functions of SEBI is to prohibit the unfair trade practices and malpractices occurring in stock exchanges. And SEBI is also responsible to form rules and regulation to have a better functioning of stock exchanges and capital market. And SEBI is also responsible to educate the investors upon the risk of investing in securities, about the rights they have while investing in the securities. So the investors are also to be educated. The next one is prohibit insider trading. That is a very important thing. It was one of the reasons for which lead to the formation of SEBI. So the main function of SEBI is to prohibit the insider trading. Okay, and SEBI also has the power to conduct inquiries and audit of the stock exchanges. Okay, so these are the main functions of SEBI. So let's revise once more. So the functions of SEBI is, first one is to protect the interest of investors. SEBI is responsible for registering and regulating works of brokers, sub-brokers, merchant bankers, and also intermediaries, then financial, foreign institutional investors, credit rating agencies, etc. And it also promote and regulate self-regulatory organizations. Then SEBI should prohibit unfair practices and fraudulent practices in stock exchange. SEBI is responsible to educate the investors and also to prohibit insider trading. Then SEBI has the power to make or frame rules and regulations, and also conduct inquiries and audit in stock exchanges. So these are the main functions of SEBI. Now we can say the power of SEBI. Okay, so SEBI is the regulator for monitoring the due compliance and enforcing the provisions of the Act. So the SEBI has the power to call for periodic returns from stock exchange, and also the power to claim for any explanation or information. That is, if SEBI feels something is wrong going in a stock exchange, the SEBI has the power to call for an information or ask for an explanation from the stock exchange, and the stock exchange is always answerable to the SEBI. Okay, and SEBI also can compel the public companies to list their shares in the stock exchanges. That is, the SEBI has the power to compel the public companies to list their shares in the stock exchanges. And SEBI can also give directions to stock exchange in general, and also give specific instructions when needed. Okay. So other functions of SEBI is to grant recognition to a stock exchange. While granting, SEBI also has the power to withdraw the recognition of a stock exchange if in some circumstances. And the SEBI has the power to make rules and regulations to control the stock exchange, and also the power to audit the performance of stock exchanges. And if the SEBI receives a complaint about a company or about a security, SEBI has the right to suspend the trading of that security in a particular stock exchange. Okay, that is, if SEBI feels that a company is price rigging in stock market or doing insider trading, the SEBI can suspend the trading of securities of that company in a stock exchange. And SEBI also has the power to grant recognition to intermediaries. Okay, so these are the main powers of SEBI. So let's the main powers of SEBI is, first one is to call for periodic returns from stock exchange and also call for an explanation or information from stock exchange. Then can compel the public companies to list their shares in the stock exchange, and also have the right and power to give directions generally and specifically if needed. Then also has the power to grant recognition to stock exchange, and also grant registration to intermediaries, and also the power to withdraw the recognition. And if needed, SEBI can also suspend the trading of any securities in a recognized stock exchange, and also the power to make rules, regulation and audit the stock exchange. Okay, so these are the power of SEBI. So now let's see the steps taken by SEBI to protect the interest of investors. Okay, so SEBI has taken a number of steps to protect the interest of investors. So the first one is in the case of new issue. Okay, so in case of new issue, a company should offer document which should contain true, fair, full and adequate material information. The second thing is that the company should advertise in newspaper about this new issue, and the important thing is that they should not produce any material information or details such as turnover, profit, dividend, etc. in the advertisement. That is, the company should not provide an exaggerated advertisement or exaggerated figures to attract the investors. They should give the true and fair information. Then next one is that the allotment procedures must be transparent, and there should be no delay in refunding or dispatching the share certificate. And the company should also highlight the risk factors involved in investing in their shares. Okay, so these are the main guidelines which have to be followed while a company go for new issue according to SEBI. Okay, so the next one is the directions. That is, the concerned persons are directed to refund any money collected under an issue to the investors, and the persons are directed not to access the capital market for a particular period. That is, if a uh, company seem to be doing any malpractice, the SEBI can direct them not to access to the capital market for a certain period of time. Okay, and SEBI can also direct the concerned stock exchange not to list or permit trading in the security. That is, if SEBI feels that some company is not going according to the rules and regulations or doing some malpractice or insider trading, the SEBI can also direct the stock exchange not to allow the uh, trading of securities of that company. So these are the main directions that SEBI can give. Okay. The next one is other important measures. So what are the other important measures taken by SEBI? The first one is electronic data filling and retrieval system made operational from 2002. That is, SEBI has implemented or made operational of electronic data filling and retrieval system from 2002, I think June or July time. Okay. Second one is a benchmarking made mandatory. That is, a benchmarking of mutual funds are made mandatory to access the and measure the performance of mutual funds in stock market. The next one is a code for conduct for mutual funds intermediaries were prescribed, and provision for nomination of unit holders were introduced to make it more efficient and effective. Okay, then other measure taken by SEBI is prohibition of rebating and discounting by mutual fund, and also depository charges for investors were rationalized, and quarterly uh, audit made mandatory for listed entities. That is, for listed entities, quarterly audit were made mandatory. So these are the other important measures taken by SEBI. So the next one is investors education. Okay. So the SEBI has taken a number of steps to educate the investors about the stock exchange. Okay. So SEBI has issued investor guidelines and issued some advertisements and published book to educate investors. We can see that sometimes in radio we can see advertisements of SEBI. Okay, about the rights of a investor, about how they can go for grievances, how they solve the grievances. Okay, we have heard about the advertisements that comes in TV, in radios, etc. Okay, so SEBI has also published book named Investors Grievance, Rights and Remedies. Okay, so these are the steps taken by SEBI to educate the investors. Okay, the next point is quick reference. A booklet named Quick Reference Guide for Investors were published to provide basic information to investors. That is, this booklet provides a basic information to the investors about the stock market and the functions. Okay, so in that booklet, the right of an investor should have as a shareholder in a company is mentioned, clearly mentioned, and the responsibilities of investors, the risk which should be assumed by an investor while investing stock exchange, then the procedures related to trading and transfer of securities, remedies for problems that the investors may face. So such tips were included in the booklet named Quick Reference Guide for Investors. Okay, so these are some of the steps taken by the SEBI to what to keep up the interest of investors. Okay, so the next point is grievances. That is, the merchant bankers should give high priority to investor grievances, and they should also provide actively involved in post issue, then refund, and at the time of allotment activities. Okay, then the proper grievance monitoring and redressal systems should be maintained. So these are some of the steps taken by SEBI to uh, cope up with the grievances that occurs in the case of investors. The next one is Investors Information Center. In every stock exchanges, a call center setup was made to take up the complaints of investors relating to securities traded or listed with concerned stock exchange. Okay, every stock exchange has these information centers. They take up the complaints from the investors and do what is required. The next one is prohibition and prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices. The SEBI has made strict rules and regulation to prohibit the fraudulent and unfair trade practices in stock market. The next one is inspection and enforcement. That is, the next measure taken by SEBI is to audit the stock exchange. That is, to inspect the stock exchange and see to it that all the rules and regulations made by SEBI is enforced in the stock exchanges. Okay. The next one is insider trading. That is, insider trading is defined as sale or purchase of securities by persons who possess price sensitive information about the company, and this insider trading was prohibited by SEBI in 1992. So if you have studied or seen the story of Harshad Mehta, he has been doing insider trading at the beginning of its life. Okay, so what he did was he used to go and collect the this information from the companies and used to implement that in the stock exchange, and he uses that information to increase or decrease the prices in the stock market. Okay, so he used to do that. So insider trading was a big problem in stock exchanges, and it didn't help in investors in getting a proper return on what they invest. So it was a major problem. So SEBI has prohibited insider trading in 1992 and is taking strict action against who is found doing this insider trading. Suppose a broker or a sub broker or intermediaries found doing guilty of doing insider trading, his license will be cut. Okay, so this is about insider trading. The next one is stock invest. Okay, so When an investor applies for securities, he is required to pay an application money, and the allotment formalities will ordinarily take up to 70 days from the date of closure of subscription. So, if the investors is given a partial allotment or if not given any allotment, he will be refunded with that application money. But uh, the investor may receive the application money back if the allotment is partially or if the allotment is not made, and it means that it is causing a loss of interest to the investor for the amount, that is it is the amount is locked up in the company till that time. Okay, so it means that the company can take advantage of knitting or keeping the cash flow in the meantime. To prevent such undesirable practices, SEBI introduced stock vest scheme in March 1992. Okay, so the State Bank of India, at the behest of SEBI, designed the scheme. It is essentially a legal, non-negotiable instrument like an account payee check for the subscription to capital issues. Okay, so as per the scheme, uh, the application for securities can be accomplished by stock invest. That is, an investor can buy these from an issuing bank provided that he holds an account there. So, this stock invest was a scheme designed by SEBI to deal with the undesirable practice that is going on while the investor is waiting for getting back his application money. Okay, so these are the major steps taken by SEBI to prevent the or protect the interest of investors. So we learned about 10 to 11 steps taken by SEBI to protect the interest of investors. That is, we can see about a new issue where the SEBI provided guidelines regarding offer documents and about advertising and about giving information to the investors. Then the directions given by SEBI and also other important measures such as electronic data filling and retrieval system made operational from 2002. Then we learned about how SEBI educate the investors and the quick reference booklet which was published by SEBI to give basic information to the investors about stock exchange. And also so we studied about the steps taken by SEBI to give to redressal the grievances by the investors, and also investors information centers which were set up, and prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices, then inspection, auditing and enforcement of rules and regulations by stock exchange were ensured by SEBI. Then we learned about the prohibition of insider trading by SEBI in 1992, and a new scheme introduced by SEBI, that is Stock Invest, in 1992. So these were the major steps taken by SEBI to protect the interest of investors. Okay, so we are moving on with the last topic of today's session. So that is organizational structure. So what is the organizational structure of SEBI? So SEBI is a statutory body, and the statutory board consists of 6 members. So the first one is a chairman, and as we already discussed, our current chairman is Mr. Ajay Tyage IAS. So there will be our chairman. Then there will be 2 members amongst official of ministry of central government dealing with finance and law. Okay, then there will be one official from RBI, and there will be 2 other members which is appointed by central government who are professionals and have experience and knowledge in securities market. Okay, so there are 6 members in the statutory board of SEBI. So first one is a chairman. Then there will be 2 officials from the central government dealing with finance and law. Then there will be one official from RBI, and then 2 officials are appointed by the central government who are professionals and have experience and knowledge in the securities market. Okay, so today we discussed about SEBI, its powers, objectives, then functions, and we discussed about the organizational structure of SEBI, and most importantly, we also discussed about the steps taken by SEBI to protect the interest of investors. Okay, so that's all for today. I know the video was a bit long. So if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up and also share this video to all commerce students you know. And please give your precious feedback in the comment section. And also subscribe to Let's Learn and click the bell icon to get the latest notification. I'm uploading a commerce video on a daily basis. So please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon. Okay. So for more commerce videos, keep watching Let's Learn. Thank you.